All right, well, welcome if you're already on here with me on YouTube Live. I'm going to get started here in just a minute. And yeah, if you got a pen and journal handy in front of you, I invite you to have that with you right now before we get started here and dive into some nature connection insights and nature connected coaching skills that I want to share with you today. Awesome. All right. Well, my name is Daniel Brisbon. I am an instructor, mentor. I wear several different hats here at Earth-Based Institute. I work directly here with Michael Jospe, and Michael's been doing some weekly YouTube lives on just some transformational topics inside of nature connection, inside of coaching, and things like that. And so I want to jump on here with you and share some really helpful tools on some nature connection skills that you can learn. And this is helpful if you're a coach already, or if you're somebody that is aspiring to be a coach and maybe you haven't learned the skills yet, but you like to start to dive in. And so I want to share with you some topics on that, how these skills can make you a better coach if you're already coaching, and also how to bring nature and nature connection into your work as a coach when you're working with clients virtually or on Zoom or some sort of platform similar to Zoom. So to dive in here, here at Earth-Based Institute, we are a ICF level certified coaching school with a twist on nature connection practices inside of the coaching session and being a coach. And so Michael's been sharing with you in the past on some insights around coaching, how to get started in this work. And like I said, what I want to share with you today is a really crucial insight on how to bridge the gap of nature connection and your connection with nature into the virtual world of today, where a lot of us, we spend time, in person together, but a lot of our connections, vis-a-vis work, friendships, connecting with family, it might be more, virtual or online, because we're, a great distance apart than sometimes in person. And it is still possible to bring your nature connection even when you're in a very technological setting. And that's what I want to dive into and share with you here today, because the world needs nature connection today, like more than ever in human history. Like, we have kind of disconnected ourselves from the planet, from the land, from nature, and we need to learn to remember how to get back to that, just like our ancestors did for so long, of being connected on the land here, and how vital it is today. And so when it comes to nature connected coaching, what I want to dive into here with you is that one of the key fundamentals and principles and practices that our coaches learn here at EBI going through our nature connected coaching program is the concept of how to embody and bring in a nature mind as a coach and facilitating a coaching session with your clients. And what do I mean by nature mind? And what I mean by nature mind is literally like when you spend a given amount of time in the forest, open space, nearby park where you live, nature starts to have an impact on you. It starts to maybe bring you into a more calm and regulated and peaceful state. And that's what happens for a lot of us, especially if you spend multiple hours to multiple days out in nature. You are going to fundamentally change on a physical, mental, emotional level. Like, nature has that impact and influence on us. And so what I mean by nature mind is that the ability to bring the way of being that nature turns on inside of you into any and every environment that you find yourself and put yourself in on a daily basis. And so, like, a lot of us today, like a big challenge, especially in the world of coaching today and as coaches, is that we are living in like a modern day world, in modern society that is very fast paced. Like, every minute that you're awake, you're constantly thinking about what the next thing to do is. And a lot of people out there are, from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep, their mind's just turned on. They're like, go, go, go. They're like, thinking of the to-do list, thinking of the things they got to take care of that day, thinking of the things they maybe forgot to do yesterday that need to be done later today. And so their mind's constantly in what's called a high beta brainwave frequency state. And for a lot of us, we're in that constantly. And when it comes to creative thinking, when it comes to creating vision and the goals and dreams and outcomes we want to have in our life, you can't connect to that powerful vision and those goals and aspirations you have from a highly activated state like that. It's only when you're able to be in a calm, regulated state that the clarity of, what am I here to do? Like, why is it important that I, create the life of purpose and intention for myself? Who am I here to serve? These big questions that we ask ourselves can only be really answered from a nature-connected state like that. And so a lot of times, we're trying to, figure out these big questions. We're trying to fix the problems in our lives. And we're doing it from a high beta frequency state. So a nature mind, and being able to bring in your nature mind as a human being, is that you're allowing yourself and others to start to think differently, start to perceive from a new lens rather than maybe the lens through which they were looking at their lives before. And so that nature mind, is that ability when other people are maybe, freaking out inside of a situation at work, for example, or you're at home and, there's this chaos going on around you, is that are you able to stay inside of that nature mind, that regulated state when your environment is anything but that? Because that's what it means to be a nature mind. And it's so important because as coaches, part of coaching and a important insight and awareness inside of coaching is that we are not there as coaches to give our clients answers, to give them advice or tell them what to do. But rather, coaching in its truest and purest form, especially nature-connected coaching, is being able to guide and support your client to finding out the answers within themselves and claiming and owning that insight and awareness and what they need to do and who they need to be in their lives. So that bringing that nature mind allows you to influence and impact the people you're with. And if you're able to be in that nature mind, even virtually with your clients or friends or loved ones, it impacts them. Like your state, your way of being has an impact and influence on others. So part of the deep aspect of nature connection that we teach here isn't just literally being in nature all the time, but it's being able to integrate that connection and way of being and relationship that you have with nature and bringing that back home. Bringing that back to your work environment, to your home, to your friends, with your loved ones, and being able to embody that even if they are not able to be in that space. Maybe the person you're with is going through some challenges, and that's what coaching. We're coaching our clients to their vision and goals, but along the journey to their vision and goals is going to be challenges, roadblocks, struggles, frustrations. And as a coach, how can you hold that space, that nature mind, to allow them to regulate themselves, to start to see with a new lens, to start to see with clarity around what they need to do, who they need to be in that space to create the goals and outcomes they want. So nature mind is so important, and your time in nature is how you develop this skill. The more time you spend in nature, it's almost like going to the gym. You're strengthening your nature mind, your way of being, your regulated nervous system, that way of being you are in nature into your environment by doing it more and more. And that's how we get stronger at anything, is by consistently doing it, repetition. So spending time in nature, but then not just like thinking like, okay, when I'm in nature, I get into that peaceful, calm, clarity comes to me, insight, creativity, maybe. It's not just in nature where that way of being inside of you happens. That's always inside of you, just gets turned on there. That's a container of safety and trust that we have in nature to drop into that space. So your gift, your call, your challenge here is to ask yourself, how can I start to bring the way I am in nature into other parts of my life, into other environments that I'm in. And two helpful ways to do this, especially when it comes to working with your clients or connecting people via Zoom or online, is that there's two kind of key ways that I like to practice bringing my nature mind as a coach with my clients virtually. And right behind here, actually, I need to go to the other side here. As a nature connected coach, when you're virtual on Zoom, one of the first things I do to bring in my nature mind is to stop predicting. And what I mean by that is that we are meaning-making machines. Our mind is always trying to figure out what's going to happen in the outcome in our connections in our environment. And so the concept of let go and let nature is what I mean by this stop predicting. When it comes to connecting with others, rather than thinking, oh, I know what my client needs to do here, I know what needs to happen and what we need to talk about, start to let go of thinking what needs to happen and predicting what's going to happen in your connections with others, and let go and be in the present moment with them. A nature mind is not focused on the past or the future, but is fully engaged in the here and the now. And as coaches, it's our opportunity with our clients to not get ahead of ourselves, but allow that slowing down. Like I was saying earlier, we're very good at being in a go, go, go mentality and behaviors when we're in our waking hours. And so as a coach from a nature mind, start to let go of that, trying to figure out what's going to happen, and just ask yourself that question: how can I be fully in the here and now with this other person? Knowing that nature is always in connection and relationship. Nature is not trying to figure out what's going to happen next. It's always in the here and now. So it's a way of kind of bringing that, bringing nature into connection with your clients, especially when you're virtual with somebody. If you're on Zoom with someone as a coach, for example, a question I like to ask myself is, if I can't bring nature to my client, how can I bring my client to nature? And I can bring nature into the experience through my way of being. So I'll stop predicting. I'll allow the great mystery of what can happen and potential in our connection to happen by letting go of trying to figure out what's going to happen, be in the here and now with them, and stop predicting. And just that mantra of let go and let nature, because that's where the most amazing things happen in the coaching sessions I've had, is when I let go of that and start to see what can unfold between me and my client here. So that first one is, stop predicting, let go and let nature. The second one is what we call practice the slows. And what I mean by practice the slows is we easily kind of get into a routine, especially when we're connecting with others. How you doing? Oh, I'm great. Like, what have you been up to? Some kind of small talk, chatter back and forth. And as coaches, especially when you're connecting with somebody else, and the way we connect with nature is that our nature connection enhances when we learn to slow down. Physically, mentally, emotionally, when we get the body to slow down, that's when we're able to really connect with self and with our environment. And so I tell myself to practice the slows by literally even, like right now, like slowing down my speech a little bit. Rather than trying to go into like a rapid fire conversation, how can I allow my nervous system to slow down? Through my speech, even my breath, knowing that that's going to have an impact and influence on my client, even though we're on Zoom together. And allow them the space to, rather than kind of go into the autopilot, kind of talking from the neck up conversation, like let's get fully into the body together. And that might literally mean like slowing down the body, doing some breath work, or taking some what we call surrender breaths here at EBI to allow that slowing down to happen. But even slowing down the mind, like the mind can start to kind of move at a certain kind of pace especially in today, like, like cars driving down the freeway, like our minds can start to go at a very fast pace. But how can you get and train your mind, your nervous system, to move at the speed of nature rather than the speed of modern society? And so practicing the slows is something, do physically with the body, through your breath even, and also with your mind and your speech and connection with somebody else. Like, allow them to slow down a little bit. Start to get into some intention together. And rather than just kind of talking about what's on the surface, let's get down into what's really going on for you here. What are you noticing, experiencing in this moment? So practicing the slows, it's a powerful way of bringing your nature mind and bringing your nature connection into connection with another human being, even if it's virtual. So those are two powerful but simple but powerful practices that I do on a consistent basis, especially when a lot of my work today is with clients virtually. That this is two ways of bringing nature into the coaching session in a creative way outside of literally being on the land and connecting with the land, by yourself or with somebody else in person. So just wanted to share this with you as some insights. And like I said, this can be helpful for you if you're a coach, even if you're not a coach yet, but you really are on that vision and path of like, I want to help people. I want to really help people like grow and heal and transform. And this world needs, healing and transformation. These are some really simple ways to start to bring that vision into reality, and some very, tangible ways to start to nurture that seed inside of you, starting to help and serve others in a powerful way through you. So I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, put any comments in the chat if you got any. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.